Mavericks lose to the Celtics at the AAC, but have they won the Kyrie Irving experiment? I've with this topic, I've just waited. I'm like, I still don't know. I'm trying to wait it out. I'm still trying to see. But Tim McMahon, Mavs reporter, wrote a big column on why this is working. Kyrie did not choose Dallas. By the way, before I get into this, have you all made up your minds? Kyrie and Luka have and will work.
Yeah.
You've made up your mind.
I think it's worked. Now, has it worked to the extent of winning a championship? I know it's a very Mike McCarthy thing. Well, we were champions. We just haven't won the world's championship.
They're champions in spirit.
Like, it's worked, but it just hasn't worked yet. But yeah, I think look, this is not I don't think this is a failed experiment.
It wasn't a question of could it work offensively. I think everybody thought, like, Kyrie's shown he can play with a lot of different type of people. He can play with ball-dominant players like James Harden, who a lot of people compare offensively Harden's game to Luka's. Like, I mean, that all is stuff that I think we knew would work. The question is, when does it turn south? When does he get unhappy? When does he bail? Like literally and figuratively. When is it that he's just going to say, I'm out, I'm checked out, and whatever else? That is the thing that I'm trying to wrestle with. Is it real? Is his happiness, is how content he is here, is that real? And I can't. I will never believe it. We could be 10 years down the road and we could have given him to the key to the city or whatever else, and I'm still going to sit there and go, it's coming any day.
Well, if
any
he wins a championship
in
the next 10 years and it works, then who cares?
Sure. I just mean in terms of, like, will it turn south? Ultimately, this will blow up. I always feel like you're just waiting for the timer to run out on Kyrie.
Here's what McMahon wrote. Kyrie has found happiness with his fourth NBA franchise, feeling respected and supported by the organization. There's a sense of calm after his 2.5-year stint with the Nets, which had so much chaos and controversy, much of Kyrie's own making. Quote from Irving, I had to be mature enough to say I got to take accountability for my own actions. I have to really walk and be the example I want to see in the world. And that's just being a good person to a lot of people and not being so hard to reach and not be so isolated to where people can misjudge that as whatever it is. Like, oh, he doesn't talk. He's just not really close with anybody. I don't really know him that well. So I feel like a lot of people misjudge me. Dallas gave me a chance to just focus on the main thing, which is being the best basketball player when I step foot out there, and off the court, they still support me.
That's your point. That has been your point the entire time. And that's Kyrie saying that that's what matters to him. Like, I can just do basketball here. I don't have to deal with anything else. I can just do basketball. Now, to be fair, I think it's a little hollow to make it like I'm finally able to play basketball. It's not about all this other stuff. When a lot of the time it's been Kyrie going, hey, look at all this other stuff. Like, it's been him. Yeah. He has to own a lot of the negative attention. He brings it on himself.
He's owned some of it in this.
He does. Yeah, absolutely.
I would love to ask him the media difference, if that has impacted anything. We're not going to ask him about all of his Instagram stories. We're not going to go there.
What does this quote mean?
Yeah. When you're in New York, you're not only just getting the Nets media, you're getting international media who is trying to write a story about anything. So when he's asked about that, he gets irritated, then you shut down, then you get a column, then you get more, then you get a national topic, and that's just not going to happen in DFW. That was my main point of why this type of market and media fits in perfectly.
I assume at a press conference, there's one person from the morning news, one from ESPN will have McMahon out there. You'll have a couple of TV stations and like Cooperstein,
gentlemen,
and Fish. Okay, all right, that's it. And in New York Times is going to have somebody. Well, they have a slant. New York Post is going to have somebody. Well, they have the other slant. The Daily News is going to have somebody. Newsday is going to have somebody. Bloggers are going to have somebody. The Star Ledger is going to have somebody. And you're going to have all the TV stations. It's a nightmare. And I mean, People Magazine has somebody out there. And Us Weekly probably has somebody out there.
And I mean, honestly, New York, New Jersey area, like national basketball writers are out there. So if they want to drop in on practice or they want to drop in on, Kyrie's the story today, I'm going to go just drop in there at the press conference. It's not
bad for basketball.
Yeah, it's not a problem for a national writer to just pop in and start making a national story out of things.
More from McMahon. Josh Green saying an amazing veteran for the younger guys. That is one of the biggest things I've noticed since he's been here, by the way. The rest of the league seems to love him. They seem to love him, and that took me by surprise after all the drama that he has caused. The Mavs sputtered to a 5-11 record in the games that he and Luka played together last year. Those issues have been ironed out. They're 14-5 in clutch games. That's being 5 points or less in the final 5 minutes or overtime. They've won 9 of 10 games like that with Kyrie in the lineup. He scored 44 points in 36 clutch minutes. But we got some injuries interrupting the Mavs season. Luka and Kyrie have played in only half of their 42 games together. They're 12-9 with, and they're 12-9 without. So I guess the bottom line question is, if Nico and the Vegas crew and Cuban build a better roster, can Kyrie and Luka win a championship here together? That's the question.
Not with the roster that is remotely close to what they have. They need, and we saw this with Boston, and we just used Grant Williams as the example. He's the fourth best player of this team, that's what they tried to get him to be. And on Boston, he's their seventh or eighth option, and that's just closer to what you need. You could win with Kyrie and Luka. You absolutely can. Josh Green's got to hit his potential. Hardy's got to hit his potential.
That's got to be Jason Kidd, though. Like Jason Kidd's treatment of younger players has just been stupid, and he's been better with Derek Lively. But man, like the just zero trust that he had for so long in Josh Green and specifically Jaden Hardy is really, really frustrating, because you have talented players there or guys that you believed in terms of their talent base, and they've got to do a better job of fostering that.
What do y'all think on the chart.com text line, 877-881-1053, 877-881-1053, on whether Kyrie has not, or will work?
All right, so here we go. From the 817, the Mavs don't win in the next couple of years, Kyrie and Luka won't be here or will not be happy. From the 972, Kyrie is a sucker for it all. From the 972, it was also the fact that Kyrie was in Brooklyn during a lot of the controversial times, and that didn't help his cause. In New York, everybody's into something. They're very woke, they're always into something else, and that kind of plays into it.